Hello and welcome to my channel. This is a book review. I'm going to review the book Atomic Habits and also show you some ideas that I got from the book. So, what I learned from this book and how I have tried to implement them in my life. So the book is Atomic Habit. I forgot the name of the author. I'm going to find it now to show you also the name. Yes, the name of the author is James Clear. He also has his blog on Atomic Habits on the same topic, more or less. So I'm going to mention some ideas that I learned from this book. So the first idea that I find really helpful and I always try to implement in my life when I want to create a new habit is to change your identity, to change the outcome and achieve your goals. So before we achieve our goals, we need to change our identity, the person we become to have the things that we want. And this is really important. The way that we change our identity is by doing something consistently. For example, I'm going to mention a simple example. Exercising every day or maybe having a lean body or toned body is what you want. If you do this every day consistently, you also change your identity to the person who exercises every day. But if you skip one day, for example, you will not be able to say that I am someone who exercises every day. So you get the idea. It has to do with changing your identity first, and habits help a lot with this. So, for example, even when I don't feel like exercising for the day, just don't skip it, never skip it. Maybe just do a placeholder type of exercise, do something to keep that identity of the person who exercises every day. And this helps a lot. So focus on the person you want to become. And by doing something consistently, you can change your identity. And once you have that internal in you, that um, for example, if someone asks, do you exercise every day? You can simply answer yes, because that is part of your identity, part of your embodiment. But if you just skip even one day, it can uh, interfere with your identity, and one time can become two, three, and so on. Same for the diet and the things that uh, we eat to keep a certain diet. So, number two idea from the book. Uh, it has more to do about forming a new habit. So, how to form a new habit. If you have a background and already know about habits, maybe you know that a habit forms by having a clue, and that clue serves as a trigger. You do the habit and then you get the reward. Maybe if you have read other books or other materials on habits, you know this type of thing how habits form. In fact, I've read years before a really good book about habits, which is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And there I learned how habits are formed. So this cycle, so clue, reward, and satisfaction after the habit. Uh, so this helps a lot on forming new habits. This book also explains the process of creating new habits. First, you need to have a clue, and you need to make it obvious so that you don't um, forget to do the habit for the day. For example, I do things in a certain order, and the finishing of one habit is the clue for starting another habit. For example, wake up, after I wake up, immediately meditate. Immediately after I meditate, I journal. So the previous habit serves as a clue to the beginning of the new habit. So always make the clue obvious. The clue is also present for bad habits. For example, just uh, seeing cookies in your home might be as a clue that you engage in the habit of eating them, and then there is the satisfaction after that. So the clue is the part of every habit, good or bad, whether you have just developed it over the years unintentionally or you want to develop a new habit intentionally, so a good habit in the future. So if you want to create a good habit in your life, just make the clue very obvious. Uh, After that, of course, the you doing the habit, the thing that you need to do, exercise or healthy eating or whatever you need to implement as a habit in your life, you need to make it attractive. You can find ways to make a habit attractive. For example, one way that I use for a lot of habits is listening to music while doing the habit, sometimes listening to motivational materials as well. But for example, when I exercise, because I need that energy and that rhythm of the music, I always listen to music. And in the period, so just walking before the exercise, just getting your body ready for the exercise, when I listen to three songs, I'm just ready to do my exercise, my workouts. So this is a really good way to make something that maybe is boring or tiring or unpleasant for you to make it attractive. I also use sometimes when I do chores like washing the dishes, I listen to some motivational material or videos of people I follow, for example, which makes it easier. And while focusing my mind on the video that I'm listening, just the dishes get done and the thing is done. So don't put pressure on yourself. If you need to do a habit, just make it attractive. This goes for eating as well, to eat healthy, but also things that you like, because this way you will be more likely to keep to implement the habit in your life. And number three, of course, I'm giving my own examples, but these are all ideas from the book. How to form a habit? There needs to be a clue, an obvious clue. Second, it needs to be attractive. Three, it needs to be easy, because when it's maybe difficult, we just don't do it or postpone the habit. For example, this goes for healthy eating and the food that you keep in your home. Sometimes when I'm home, I just feel like eating something bad, let's say not healthy food. But I need to get up, get ready, and go buy it somewhere, and just it's not so easy. It's more easy to eat what I already have in my home, and uh, I keep in my home healthy food in order to prepare for this situation and eat what is already there, and it's easier to grab and eat. So the tip number three to form a habit is to make it easy. And four, to make it satisfactory. Of course, after you perform the habit, you need to have that satisfaction, because that is the way that we perform habits. When we feel pleasant and satisfied after, for example, doing the habit, it's just the brain registers it in a way that makes us do it again. When we see again the clue, we um, do the behavior again, and to get that satisfaction. Of course, this works is part of human behavior in psychology, but also the process of forming habits is used a lot in firms, in companies, in their marketing to sell us products when they are addictive, when they are everywhere, because sometimes the clue is just seeing the product in the supermarket. It's also used by companies, but this is a thing, the way that habits get formed is the thing to take into consideration when you want to form a new habit. Of course, this is basic level. If you already have a background, you know about this way of forming habits. So this was the number two idea that I got from the book. In fact, I already knew this from the other book that I mentioned, The Power of Habit, from Charles Duhigg. But this book also gives that process. So have a clue, make it attractive, easy, and satisfactory. The third idea that I got from the book is to make a list of your habits and categorize them as positive, negative, and neutral. So we all have those habits that we have in our lives. In fact, the human brain works that way. We just sometimes need the shortest way possible to satisfy our needs. But those are habits that we already have. Some of them are positive, negative, that negatively affect your lives, and some are just neutral. So you can start by making a list of your habits. And in fact, I have tried to focus more on positive habits that I want in my life, and to just do when I plan my day, I just plan to do a list of positive habits in a specific order, and by not focusing on negative habits and following my time with the positive habits and making them satisfactory has also helped to eliminate negative habits, For example, I just forgot about them. They are less and less in my mind because I'm filling my mind with the positive habits and activities, and also trying to always implement something new in your life, because over time it can become boring if you do the same things over and over again. So to when you do the basic positive habits that you want, you can just add in your list something new or different variations to them. And the fourth idea that I got from this book, Atomic Habits, this is really powerful too and very important, is to assign to each environment a specific purpose or habit. This helps a lot. Your environment helps a lot. For example, a specific chair is only for reading, the kitchen for cooking, etc. This is really helpful because when you go to a certain environment, there is a certain energy to it, and also it can help you to bring you in that mental state of that environment. For example, it can become really automatic if you go to a certain room or sit on a certain chair to do that habit. For example, like when we go to the library, there's just something about that place that is related to focus, and just by feeling all those people's energies who are sitting in the library and that quiet place, we just don't waste our times there. Just keep reading and studying, and just the environment helps a lot, I want to say. And maybe just set a specific time, just a specific place, I meant to say, environment in your home, or just for eating, and not just eat everywhere in your bedroom and just mindless eating that we often do. So these were the four ideas that I got from the book. In the last part of this video, I am going to talk a little bit more about how I implement habits in my life and how I am doing habits at the moment. In the past, I used to time box my time. So this is a planning tool which is called time boxing, which basically is setting a specific time for every activity that you have to do. And after that time is finished, just finish the task and focus on something else. And I used to have my day all planned, every hour of my day planned with a specific activity, and just do that activity according to the times of the day. But now I have changed a little bit this part, also doing my feminine energy work. This has influenced how I organize my time too. Um, uh, Time management used to be a really good interest of mine for all my life since I was a student, and even before in high school. I love to organize my time and love to learn about new ways to organize time. Simply, this was one of my passions and interests. That's why I learned a lot about habits in the past, like 10 years ago, and since I was a student. And for a lot of years, this was my interest. But now, just learning more about feminine energy and implementing these two in my life, this has affected my time management. And I don't use any more time boxing. I just do habits in a specific order. I have a list, for example, of daily things that I have to do, then also weekly and monthly lists, but I just try to do them in my pleasure and just um, getting satisfaction in every minute of them and just not doing them in a hurry like I was doing them before. So, for example, I have a specific order of how of the things that I do. Like, for example, wake up, meditate, journal, hip rotations, exercise, bath, and get ready for the day. Meaning, get dressed and do my makeup, etc. So, this is more or less my morning routine, and I have a list for all my day of things that I do daily. For example, um, later in the day, take my supplements, eat, and evening routine, etc. So I just try to do them in a flow and not in a hurry. Dedicate to them, to each activity or each habit, as much time as I feel like. On some days I do them faster, on some days I do them slower. On some days I exercise more, on others I exercise less. But I always do each of them. So I always, for example, exercise even if it is just a little bit. Um, so this has helped a lot and has make them more enjoyable, and this has helped me feel better during the day, but also be more consistent. And this helps a lot, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, in the first idea that I got from Atomic Habits about how habits can change your identity. So sometimes it's not important to do them every time perfectly. It's important to just show up, to create your identity, because when we do something when we do something consistently, it affects our identity. And the last thing that I want to mention on this video is how to deal with interruptions. For example, when you are doing something, maybe journaling or whatever is your habit that you are doing, sometimes you face interruptions, maybe with other people, maybe just from yourselves, like when you just feel like taking a break. How I deal with interruptions. I don't engage with them. For example, if someone calls or if it is an outside interruption, I just don't engage with them until I finish the habit and then I get back, for example, to that person. Or if it's urgent, I just interrupt the habit for the day and that's enough for the day, deal with the interruption, then go on with the other habit. Before I used to use the Pomodoro technique, which is time boxing basically of working for 25 minutes. Just remembered this of how I organized my time in the past. Um, so the only structure that I have, because of course we need structures in our life, but also that feminine flow. So the only structure that I have for habits is that I keep doing them in a certain order, and I made a rule for myself so that I can skip any of them. Even if, for example, I do the habit for a little bit, just a little bit of time, I can't skip them. So I only structure the day to do them in that certain order. but I dedicate to a habit as much time as I feel like it every day. So that's all for this video. This used to be a topic that I really loved and I still love, the topic of time management, organization, and just forming habits. So that's a really good book if you want to form habits. So thank you for watching and bye.